What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm super excited today to be transforming these chopped nails into my nails for Fête de la Musique. For those of you who don't know, Fête de la Musique is a festival that happens on the 21st of June every year in Paris, and honestly, it was such a fun time. As always, I'm just starting off by pushing back my cuticles. Because my nails are looking quite sensitive today, I am just going in with a wooden cuticle pusher instead of the usual metal one, just to be a little bit more gentle on them because they are a bit sensitive. But as you know, the show must go on. I was not about to go to Paris with the nails looking like these. And then onto one of my favorite steps, which is just going through and cutting off my cuticles. They do grow quite quickly as well, so this part is always the most satisfying for me. Now that our cuticles are gently pushed back and nipped, we're just going to go through and start with the buffing just to create that rough surface for the gel X nails to adhere to. As always, we are going in with our trusty apres. These are in the natural square medium, which are generally my favorites to use. I really love the length and I love the way that they fit on my nail bed because I don't necessarily have a high natural apex. Because I want these nails to actually last, these ones aren't just for content. We are going in and just etching the inside just to make sure that they last a little bit longer. Then going in with some sun cream because I actually do not like using those UV gloves that everybody likes to use. I feel like they get in the way, and especially if you're using sticky stuff like rhinestone glue, it just makes such a mess. So I apply sun cream instead and then go through and just kind of dehydrate the nails with some isopropyl alcohol, some dehydrator, and some acid-free primer as well for my press. As always as well, using my Beetles nail glue and this Macart Flash UV lamp for the gel axe application, going in here with the acid-free primer just to prep those nails as well. For the first step of my gel X application, I do like to go in with a thin layer of the glue, and then once I've cured that for 10 seconds, I go in and put the glue on the nail extension. I also like to start the lamp first and then apply the tip because it's just a lot easier than trying to have the tip there and then get the sensor on and everything like that. So yeah, this is just the way that I do it, but I just find it so much easier than the other way. Then we repeat those steps for the rest of the nails until the entire hand is done. One thing I will say about gel X is that even though it is quite easy to do, especially on yourself, if you get it wrong, it is so hard to fix. There's been so many times where I've basically cured a nail on really wonky and it's just been so hard. You can't take it off and start again or even try and fix the shape like sometimes with acrylic. But yeah, I think that's just like my one and only gripe with it, but I really do love gel X application, and whoever invented it, honestly, hats off. I think I said that in my last video, but yeah, I do really love this method. Bringing out my trusty dust collector from Sunshine Equipment, we're just going to go in now and buff the surface with an e-file and also blend those tips as well to kind of avoid that press-on nail look that sometimes it can give. I always find this bit so difficult with my left hand because it's just so hard to hold it and grip it without giving myself heat spikes every 3 seconds. So it's one thing that I definitely am learning how to do a lot better because I always find that the retention on my right hand isn't as good, and I think it is because of this step and how I don't know how to basically hold the file in my left hand. But I think I'm getting better, to be honest. It's literally just one of those things I'm just gonna have to practice. But yeah, I don't know if anyone is left-handed or if they're are ambidextrous, but if anyone has any tips or tricks on how to hold an e-file with your left hand, then please leave them down below in the comments. It may not be obvious that I'm struggling. I think that it is, but if it's not that obvious that I'm struggling, then please help a girl out. With Gel-X application, it is easier to start with your dominant hand, which is why I've done it this way round in this video, because I am right-handed. But what I will say is that I did do the artwork for my right hand off camera, just because I just needed to get through it and kind of needed to understand what I was doing, because it was like a freestyle set. I didn't really have a lot of inspo or any sort of idea in mind. So when it comes to the artwork, I will be wearing a glove just to hide it, even though it's in the thumbnail, but I just kind of wanted to have like an air of mystery to it, just before revealing what they actually look like at the end. So onto the artwork now. I have done the Frenchies off camera just because they're pretty easy. I just did the straight Frenchies with Nail Orders Blanc because it's the most pigmented. I really do like my Frenchies quite low as well because it gives you so much space for like the artwork and stuff. So yeah, let's get into the artwork. For this set, what I wanted was a red, white, and blue color scheme, just because those are the colors on the French flag. One thing I did struggle with though was trying to find red, white, and blue nail inspo without kind of clashing with the 4th of July red, white, and blue nail inspo, because on Pinterest it was literally just like stars and stripes and all this sort of stuff. And I was thinking, okay, I kind of was gonna go for the stars, but what I didn't want was to look like I had American nails, especially if I'm going to France. So I kind of added some gold here just to kind of give it a kind of like good contrast. And I'm just trying to think as well, like how can I European them up as much as possible. So I actually kind of went off of the emojis. So when you type in France into the emoji search bar, it comes up with this kind of, I don't know what it is, I'm gonna put it like on the video here, but it came up with that. So I was thinking, oh okay, I'm gonna use that as kind of like my theme and use that for my inspo, and hopefully that will work. Here I'm using a non-white matte top coat because I'm doing some chrome, and even though this matte top coat is good, I do still find myself having to buff some parts away to make sure the isolated chrome stays isolated. But yeah, just in case you're wondering why she's top coating so early, no, this is just a matte top coat before we do some more artwork. So for the isolated chrome, I've mixed together some black gel polish and some non-white top coat just to kind of make that, I don't know, this sort of like this chrome specific paint, which is really good, especially as well for 3D effects. I kind of wanted to go for like a rococo sort of look here, but I was really struggling with this design, if I'm honest. It just wasn't going my way and it was late, so I kind of had to try a few times with this one. Even though I don't think they looked bad or terrible, it just wasn't what I was envisioning. I think you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to sort of do this, again, that sort of rococo look, European swoosh style. I don't know what it's like actually called. But again, things don't always look the best in black, and they do come to life when you add the chrome. But you just have to make sure that the black looks good before the chrome. And in this case, I was just really struggling with it, to be honest. So we had to start again. So here we just went for a much more simple sort of 3-stripe thing. Again, I don't really know what to call them or anything like that, but it's just a really nice pattern, just a nice little accent on the top of the nail in black. And again, kind of doing that sort of 3D look. And once I'm happy with that, finally, we put that in to cure. And a similar thing on the thumb here. Again, not trying too hard to do all those sort of swirls and swishes and whatever. We're just going to keep it nice and simple, because I do think as well sometimes less is more. And yeah, I just think the cute little accents on the nail, it just kind of make it better than trying to sort of overload it with detail. But if I am honest with myself, that is also because I couldn't do the other thing. But we're not going to draw too much attention to that. Now for the chrome, which is one of my favorite parts, because as I said earlier in the video, once you add chrome to it, it just absolutely brings it to life. So as you can see, just going in and rubbing that all over the black and here as well. But then I realized, actually, why do gold when you can also do red and blue? So we switched it out and I went in with a red and blue chrome instead, just because we have the red, white and blue with the Frenchies and the things as well. I didn't want to add too much gold to it. I just wanted to keep it quite balanced. So I thought, okay, let me do the red and the blue here, and hopefully that will keep the colors nice and even. Next up, we're doing the charms, and I know that I have my right hand covered, but basically what I've done is I'm doing the same nails but kind of like rearranging the order of them. So the pinky one is going to have this sort of rosary style thing on it, but the crosses I find that I have are super big, so it really does take up the whole nail, but it's okay. We're kind of just making sure that they fit, and I've added some caviar beads and some pearls as well, just to kind of give that sort of rosary look. Again, it's quite difficult because it's quite fiddly and the rhinestone glue is quite thin, so things do move around quite a lot, but once you get it down, just make sure that you flash cure it immediately. So I actually used my Macart flower lamp flash cure because my flashlight is just out at the moment, but yeah, we managed to get it done eventually, and I just think it's so cute. I have these super cute nail stickers that I absolutely love. They're kind of like these cherubs. They can be so cute for Valentine's Day nail sets, but that's obviously not what we're doing today. Also, please ignore the tissue on the end of my tweezers. I don't know how they got there, but it's fine. Like, I'm such a messy nail tech. Like, as you can tell, that there's chrome over my hands. There's honestly just mess everywhere. But I feel like the messier the set, the more effort that is being put into it. So I don't see that as a bad thing. Now we're choosing the frame to go around it. I kind of went for the square one at first, but then I realized that, I don't know, I think I preferred the circular one. So putting that one back, grabbing the circular one, and you can see just how lovely it fits and how nice it looks on the nail. Okay, now we're in the final stretch of the set. I'm just gonna go through and clean up that chrome, and look how lovely it looks. And once you master isolated chrome, it is so hard to not incorporate it into every single set that you do, because wow, I just love how clean it is and how much it's coming together. For some final touches, I'm just going in with some colored rhinestones, again following that red, white and blue color scheme, although it is quite hard to do like white rhinestones because they're more silver, and I didn't want a sort of silver and gold clash, so I actually went in with some pearls instead, and I think they worked just as well. It does kind of look like I'm just sort of pushing them around, but basically just figuring out how to arrange them and how best to look, because what you don't want is for the nails to look overloaded or crusted or anything like that. So just kind of fiddling around with variations and styles until I find one that I like. Then we're going in with our non-white top coat, again just going in and making sure we're covering all those nooks and crannies, especially with all those rhinestones and charms and everything, just to make sure that the entire nail is covered. I also just like to wipe the sides as well to keep the nail shape very neat and tidy, or you don't want that sort of bulbousy look. And we are finally done. Wow, this is probably one of my favorite sets, if I'm honest. I just love how classic it is, especially with just using that one color scheme. I really, really love the gold accents, the blues, everything has just come together so well. I do think that the left hand is more simple than the right hand, but I don't really mind too much. I think they really complement each other, to be honest. If you like this video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I've got so much to share with you. New videos are up every Sunday, so I'll be back next week with something extra. Bye, guys.